Mhm. Thank you very, very much for this energetical dance. It was Onuka Vidlik is the title. I am with Veronika and with Alina. Can you tell me what Vidlik means?
Countdown.
Countdown. So we danced on a countdown. And we have some minutes together. Maybe you do you feel like
I think that maybe we can, like, I can.
Yeah, just have both of you here. Do we see you enough? Yeah, put on the lights. Cool. Thank you.
It's not full.
Voila, better. We are here in a theater in Kiev. The name of that theater is Pro-English Theater. And we chose to make the dance here in that special room, because this room, which is the stage of the theater, has been transformed in March into a shelter. And we have now the beds as it was during the shelter time, because there is a performance that has been created through that. The title is The Book of Siren, and the audience sits on these beds, and we have Katerina arriving. So we are all together in Kiev working.
And actually, Olena, she left a little present.
Yes, I know. Yes, we're online and we're having a talk. We have Veronika and Alina. I would like to ask if you agree to tell us where you come from. And then we can maybe talk about a few things you've been doing artistically lately. Go ahead, where do you come from?
So I'm from Donetsk in Ukraine. That's where, 8 years ago, after the Crimea was occupied, our territories were also occupied by Russia, invaded by Russia. And I moved to Kiev like just a year ago. But so I've been in Donetsk since 2014. Yeah.
And
now I'm here.
You moved 1 year ago.
Well, I moved to Kiev 1 year ago, and I moved to Poltava from Donetsk 3 years ago. So I moved in 2019.
Yeah,
like from Donetsk. Yeah, I left.
And what about you? Where do you come from?
I come from Zaporizhia, which is a city in also eastern part of Ukraine. Right now, currently, the region is occupied also by Russians. And I moved to Kiev 10 years ago. And all these 10 years, I've been working in theater and cinema. I'm an actress, and thus I am here in theater.
Yeah. And so both of you have a connection with Donbass, because you come from Donetsk, and you still have your mom who lives there. And you just started performing a play, Bloom of Violence, that is based on stories that happened in the Donbass region, right?
Yes, correct. In violence.
Bloom in violence. Bloom in violence. Book of Sirens and Bloom in violence. Yes. I think when we are not in Ukraine and we hear Donbass, Donetsk, it's like we now know that it's in the very east region where it's very, the fights are very high. How is your mom?
She's doing okay. She's just very lonely because she's been alone there, and like all the friends are leaving, but like she currently doesn't have an opportunity to leave. Like she wants to, but like she can't for now. And but I hope that she will come back, like come here soon, maybe to Ukraine. Or maybe even somewhere abroad, just not in Donetsk. Yeah.
And is it possible to go away from Donetsk these days?
Well, sure. It's just very complicated because you cannot cross the front lines, of course. So you have to go to get to Ukraine, for example. You have to go through Russia. It's either on by land, so by bus you go through Russia, through Belarus, through Poland, and then to Ukraine, or you can, I don't know, travel by air somehow, but again you have to like go to Russia, and then from there you have to go somewhere else. It's like a very long and expensive way out.
Yeah, and the other day you were telling me that if she leaves, what would happen to your flat and your things there?
Well, it's possible that like if the flat will be occupied will not be occupied by people for a long time. We know the stories that happen to people that the Russian soldiers, they just break in your apartment and they just take it, like it's no longer yours. And they will just like live there in your apartment, in your home, just because.
Yeah. And how does this story of Veronika and Veronika's mom, maybe or maybe not, connect with Bloom in Violence?
It connects a lot because Bloom in Violence is based mainly on a book that is called Daughter by Ukrainian author Tamara Hoyhazernia, and this book has achieved a BBC prize of 2019 because it's, first of all, very well written, and it's in a very human and understandable way describes the life of simple people, how they are affected by war, and stories like Veronika's are very common in these regions, especially because these regions have been suffering what the whole Ukraine is suffering for 8 years already, and the Westland started acknowledging and understanding physically how it feels only since 24th of February this year. And yeah, it's like how war becomes your everyday reality 24/7, and what are the consequences? How do you survive in that? Because so many people stayed and lived there in that region all these 8 years for one reason or another. They couldn't flee, they couldn't move. So yeah, this is a very particular aspect of human experience in the war.
I would like to bounce on that by asking Taya, maybe there is something you want to add as I think your experience with the East. Oh, there's something we don't hear you. Yeah? No. Take your time to find out. Maybe we'll come back to it. Yeah. So Judith, do you have a question, or Julia? Does anyone want to ask something?
Yes, I wanted to say hello and ask what are your immediate goals, let's say your personal goals for the upcoming, let's say, year or so. Will you be focusing on your performances, or what are your hopes and goals?
It's a very good question because it is a indicator of how we feel, because for 5 months nobody from Ukrainians makes goals, plans, because our future literally has been taken from us. And you know, we can plan, we can continue living and trying to do something to help to organize our life somehow from scratch again. But the thing is that we never know, will we wake up tomorrow? That's the thing, that's the lottery we are playing here nowadays. So I would say I don't have any plans whatsoever. And the only goal that I believe, from my personal point of view, all Ukrainians share is the victory, and everybody contributes in any way they can. So there is no there is no personal anymore. There is only common, which you contribute every day in any way they can. And in my case, yes, it's theater performance and raising the awareness about the problems that are currently happening.
Yeah, I agree, totally agree. Yeah, there is like, you can like, you know, a year or so, it's a very long term. And it actually surprised me when I moved to Kyiv finally, because like all these 8 years, you're thinking, okay, so next year I'm gonna do this, okay, I'm gonna finish school, I'm gonna move to Poltava, okay, after Poltava I finish university in Poltava, I move to Kyiv. And like you constantly think like one step at a time, and you're like constantly running away, and you don't plan anything for a year or so. And we had Project Fest in 2021. That's where I joined, when I joined Pro English. And just after the Project Fest finished in August 2021, the guys started discussing the plans for the next year, or for year 2023. And it was like a revelation. Like, so people actually make plans 2 years in 2 years ahead. Like it was so crazy for me, because when the war started, I was 14 years old. And like when you're 14, you don't make plans 2-3 years ahead. You know, like, I will finish school, then I will go to university, but it's not like something you think about. And it was like a big revelation for me that like people actually make plans 3 years ahead, 2 years ahead. But yeah, I didn't have time to get used to this, unfortunately. Yeah. So I don't plan. So yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I would like to share my yesterday's experience, because yesterday I was sleeping, and at 4:30 in the morning I woke up because of shelling, because my house was shaking and something exploded not far from. I was extremely terrified. After a couple of minutes after that, there was another explosion, and it was much louder. We went on the floor. We like went on the floor with my boyfriend and with my dog, and I didn't really know what to do, because there are no two-wall rule in my house. And I ran to the first floor because it's more safe on the first than on the second floor. And it was just shelling for 2 hours, louder or not louder, far or near. And the chandelier was shaking, the walls were shaking, and I didn't know what to do, because it just like I was laying on the bed and thinking, maybe I will die this morning, maybe not. Yeah, and then in the news they said that in my region, like in the Kiev region, there were some rockets from the Belarus side. Yeah, and it is not really far from me, maybe 20-30 kilometers, but somehow my house was really, really shaking, and I was just terrified. My hands were trembling, my heart was beating so much, and unfortunately I couldn't do anything. I was just waiting for something like to end. Yeah, and I can't really believe that in some parts of Ukraine, I can believe, but I can't feel it like to the fullest, that in some parts of Ukraine, especially in the south and east, people are having this experience every day. Like every day there are shellings and bombings and etc. And it's really extremely scary. Sometimes I'm thinking that I'm not really scared of death, but when the death is really near you, you just feel this animal fear, which you can't control, really, that you're really scared of death. Yeah, and it was scary. And like if 1 hour after that, I went outside with my dog, and it was sunny, the sky were blue, and nothing like told me that we have war every day. And if you just don't experience this in the moment, you cannot believe that this is it. Yeah, this was really scary.
How are you now?
Normal, but after that, usually when something really unexpected happens in Ukraine, like this thing yesterday, or some really like in Vinnytsia when they bombed or when they bombed a shopping mall, like something big happens, I usually start overthinking my life and all this war and how I hate Russians and other stuff. And yeah, right now I feel normal, but when I explained my experience to you, I just felt one more time these feelings. Yeah. Unfortunately, they're doing this every day to us. Yeah.
Yes, hello, I would say good morning, all of your friends here, and I hope you are well here in the shelter. you have good connection, yes, and I would say and keep staying positive, and the way is going on, the life is going on, and I'm sure we keep positive. And we should stay.
We have a better connection than you.
Yeah, we have a big storm. Actually, we have a big rain, and I think it's not really cold.
Thank you. What is it that you need from us? Yeah.
Okay, let's get started.
Yes.
3 Veronika.
A couple of Heimers. No, I would say that this initiative that you're doing every day is super important, and it's great. It's actually one of the best initiatives that I have encountered, because it's crucial on 5th month of the full-scale invasion and 8th year of the war, that we keep talking about it. We don't forget about it, because I know that people, especially abroad, get tired of it, get bored, and feel like this doesn't concern them. And especially like first couple of months, it was very heated, like Ukraine was in every headline, and therefore it was easier for us to get what we need for victory. And it's interesting how this link works, because all we need from like people like us, normal people who are living their lives, is spreading the awareness, spreading the word. So therefore, people who have some resources that we require will hear about it all the time, and therefore they will take it seriously. because I believe that especially in the 21st century, when it's an era of digitalization, of using your voice in so many different ways, this is what we can do, the stay connected. And also very important point for me is that I saw a quote yesterday that the Third World War is already happening. It's just only two countries take part, because Russia is attacking the whole world and Ukraine is defending the whole world. And therefore, I really also feel so, because I believe that we are fighting and standing for the democratic values of the whole world, and the values that matter: freedom, the dignity, the right to exist, and right to have your culture, your nation, and your language. And therefore, I really feel that it's our common fight, and when we are together, we are invincible. So therefore, connecting in any way, for example, dancing together every day, is also a manifestation of life against death and light against darkness. That's what
You want to add something? Yeah. And Taya?
No, girls explained it really well. That need more weapon. Anytime you have some, you can send it to Ukraine. I'm just joking, but unfortunately, I was a pacifist before 2014 when Russia occupied Crimea and the eastern part of Ukraine. But pacifism doesn't work when there is a terrorist country near you and you just want to defend your own territory, your own people, your own culture and language. We do not want any other territories, any other nations, anything. We just want to protect ourselves. Yeah, but yeah, we just have to stay strong and motivated, and to have our victory in the future. That's all.
Дякую. Yeah. Before we end, is there anything someone of you or someone in Europe over there would like to add or needs to add?
I actually wanted to say thank you, because Madeline told me that you have been having this flash mob every day since 24th of February, and it's impressive for me that people, keep joining, and it's such precious, so important to know that people think about it and do something about it. So thank you very much. And thank you for organizing it.
It's my little weapon for peace.
Yeah, because if you dance every day for Ukraine, it means that at least once a day you think about Ukraine.
Yeah.
when you dance, or after, you think that it's just for Ukraine, and you think about Ukraine, and you don't forget about Ukraine.
Yeah, it's for and it's with.
Yeah.
And the reason why we named it like with is because knowing your country, I know you are not victims. I know you have resistance, and you will always be creative in responding to each attack you might have, or to each problem you might face, even if it's less big than a war. And so from the beginning, I felt like you don't need us to be there like for you. You need us to be there with you.
Right.
And I think it makes the whole difference, and it will continue to make the difference in this longer term perspective of war, because for being here in Kiev, I can really witness that there is strength everywhere. And this strength is not about being strong. It's about breathing, opening the heart, understanding with your mind, with reading, with understanding what's going on, then making decisions with your intuition, with your heart, with your thinking, connecting, communicating, and doing, keeping on doing and doing and doing. So it's a kind of strength that is very inspiring. It's not the strength we expect as what a war brings up as an image of strength, where you have to be strong. It's another kind of smooth strength that is a marathon strength. And that's why we are with you. And I think we can uplift ourselves also to that spirit, because we are, I mean, everywhere around Europe or the world, there are people who are like this. So if we just join our strengths in that sense, ideas come up when we move our bodies, ideas come up when we talk, ideas come up, and then from an idea we go into action. And that's what you do to win this war. And so that's why we dance with you, and of course for you, but like with, really. Yeah. I just want to show you, for those who have never been in a shelter, as most of us, I hope, have never been, what it looks like, these beds. And that's where people lived here for 1 month. 1 month, right?
1 month and a half.
1 month and a half. For 6-7 weeks. So they have the beds here all around in that place where people snored the whole night long. And then they didn't have a kitchen, but they kind of took some pieces of furniture from kitchens around by neighbors who were living in the shelter. And they brought a fridge, they brought stuff so that they can cook. And so they transformed the theater into an apartment, a living apartment with the toilets, with the kitchen. And it's in a basement. And people have been living here together for 6 weeks. Here there was the office. And I think the cooking place was here, if I don't miss it, like eating tables. And there was also a library that they had here with books to be read. And they had put, so all of this has been told to me by Alex Borowensky, who is the leader of this theater and the co-organizer of all of this, Anabel Sotelo Ramirez. She has also a publishing house, a small publishing house. And so all the books she has, she published 3 books, and the books they have been put against the few windows that are in this theater, because it's like a half basement, so that if there were any explosions, these books would stop the window, the glass, I mean. So that's what they do everywhere here to make the windows invisible and to protect the people from outside. So yeah, that's what a theater can look like in wartime. Thank you so much for having stayed with us, for having been watching us. And maybe we say goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Taya, be safe. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Julia is in Paris, and we have Switzerland with Ruth. Everyone is connected.
Be safe. Be safe. Have a nice time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.